What's going on, Aztec Nation? It's another episode of the Sons of Montezuma podcast on a Wednesday. I want to thank you guys for joining the stream. Of course, this is a Kiss the Rings show, so we're going to be talking mainly hoops, but a couple of different things going on in the college landscape that it affects everything. So we're going to get into it. Of course,
I'm an Aztec warrior.
And then to my right, the one and only, you cannot stop him, only hope to contain him. What is going on, B? Woo! What's up, man?
How you doing, man? Are you
I'm doing
enjoying? Right. What about this weather, man? This June gloom. Are you over it? I am so ready for some sunshine and.
Bro, I can't wait for Summer League to get here so we go out to Vegas or something. I gotta get out of here, man.
Yeah.
It's so
I'm going to Florida for a week. It'll be raining there, but at least we get some sunshine. But yeah, it's I'm
feels like Florida.
This gray weather feels like Seattle.
It feels like Florida, bro. Last weekend was so hot and muggy and cloudy, and then just kind of felt like the Caribbean or whatever. But
yeah.
It's good to have you, dude. It's good to have you. I know we chat all the time, so we're keeping up on what's going on out there in the world of college hoops, college ball, whatever it is. And there's a lot going on right now, man. I mean, you can't let this weather get us down. It is summertime officially, and in San Diego, there's you kind of feel in San Diego that you're removed from a lot of the different things that are going on. You see the NCAA presidents out there, you see the SEC conference presidents out there, and then of course the Mountain West and the Pac-12 and all the shakeup, everything going on. It's not stuff that we necessarily cover a lot of at Sons of Monty. Like, we like to have fun. We like to cover the games, the off season, right? The interviews, SWISH League coming up this summer. Like, we like to have fun. All this stuff going on, outside of the playing fields, off of the courts. It's kind of a bummer, to be honest with you. It's not really that exciting to me, but things are starting to pick up, and everybody's waiting. Everybody's like waiting with bated breath. Of course, Fiend. Let's get into a first topic. Let's talk some hoops topic, right? Because you brought it to my attention that the NCAA is looking to expand the tournament. Now, we just covered the Aztecs, their offseason, bringing back a whole lot of talent. And rightfully so, we're all excited about it, right? I mean, this is going to be a top-notch team in the halls of Montezuma Mesa coming up. Bird's back. Magoon's back. Reese Waters is back. And a lot of different guys filling in different roles. Of course, a lot of the young guys, we're expecting them to take it up to the next level. So there's going to be big expectations in San Diego. San Diego hoops it's growing. But now with the NCAA, what you brought to my attention is that they're looking to expand possibly the tournament to more teams. I believe Mr. Baker has been going on the media road and just talking about all the different things going on, their meetings. What do you think is going to happen? And I'll tell you what I think is going to happen.
I think it's inevitable that they are going to expand. I think I think he made it clear NCAA's position is they want to expand. It just depends on their media partners that they're trying to negotiate with, and there's some logistics that need to be worked out. But yeah, I definitely see the tournament expanding to 72, possibly 76 teams. That's going to get the teams in that should have been in the tournament that were knocked out by bid stealers in conference tournaments, where an automatic qualifier that normally wouldn't have gotten in gets in and knocks out someone on the bubble. So less bubble teams, getting their bubble burst, more teams in the tournament. President made a case for a team like Indiana State a couple years ago, who were one of the really exciting team. They had a really exciting big guy with the spectacles and they played in Missouri Valley Conference. Lost in the championship game. They only had a couple losses all year. Like, they were really strong, but because they didn't have like that really strong resume from a power conference, they got knocked out in the NIT and then went all the way to the NIT championship game. So the NCAA looks at games like that and is like, man, we'd rather have that in our venue, our venue, then give that to the NIT or another tournament. So I think that's why they are going to expand. It's more money, more eyes, that fills in the week between Selection Sunday and when the tournament, really starts like on Thursday for the round of 64. So that's where I think they're going with that.
Robbie Avila, that was that player at Indiana State with the big old Coke bottle.
They had all those nicknames for him. Remember, they had like they compared him to Bird or something. It was funny, man. Some of those nicknames they had for him. It was funny.
I didn't know Latinos could ball, man. With a name like Avila, I was like, hey, that's my guy. Bring him to State. They didn't bring him. Okay, so I want to show this little clip. I mean, it's just a snippet, like on, and we're talking about when we say Baker, we're talking about
the NCAA pres.
Yeah, it's Charlie Baker. He's the NCAA president, right? And for a lot of those out there like me, I mean, I look at the NCAA and it's kind of like, man, they lost so much power these last few years. Can any of their decisions really impact, the games and all that stuff? Well, this is something that they really can have an impact in. But this is Mr. Baker not a year ago, maybe 6 months ago on the Dan Patrick Show. And I thought it was pretty cool enough to.
I love football. I got 2 kids who played it, but I was a basketball player, and I'm pretty excited to be here for that.
And once again, we're not going to 96 anytime soon for March Madness.
No, we're not.
But we're going to go into 70.
We'll get in. I think the committees have some work to do here, but I think there's room to go to something like 72 or 76. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Hey, great to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. Good luck, Charlie. Okay.
So it was cool to hear just that snippet. And this was, like I said, it was like 6-7 months ago. So the talks that are going on right now, like if they were paying attention, they knew this was coming down. It's inevitable, like you said, Fiend. And it's good to hear that he's a basketball guy. He loves football, but he actually played ball back in the day. So I think he's got what's best in mind for the game. I mean, of course, you don't want to water things down, but I started talking about our team, and the hype is real for our team, right? But one of the things he brought up, and I think the clip that you shared with me earlier, was that a lot of guys are coming back. Like the very small percentage of student athletes make professional leagues, regardless of the sport. I mean, it's just such a competitive world out there in the world of professional sports. So you get a lot of guys that are coming back, not entering into the draft. As good as we think the Aztecs are going to be, there's going to be a lot of stacked teams out there this upcoming year in college ball. I mean, a lot of big names came back. That continuity is going to be there. We talked a little bit about it last week. Aztecs are going to be stacked in the Mountain West, I think, especially. But once you get out of that, it's going to be a tough go. And if you increase that number of the tournament, hanging up a banner may not be as easy as we think.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's definitely going to be more competitive. Like we have, I think we have just as good a team as we had in 2023. With the talent that we have coming back. I mean, we don't have the experience. We don't have the number of minutes that guys have played, but from a talent perspective, I can't, make a case that 2023 team was more talented than this team coming up this year. So, but you're right. The teams that are coming back, it's going to make it much harder to make a deep run, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, just because it's so loaded now compared to what it was a couple of years ago because of the dollar amounts from NIL that players are getting and foregoing the pros. I think from an expansion standpoint, what I would like to see is I don't like having the first 4 in Dayton as the only site. So if you go to 72, if you go to 76, I would like to see. You can keep Dayton. That's fine for the teams out east, but I think they should have a venue, whether that's in Dallas or Oklahoma City or Wichita or Omaha, somewhere in the middle of America, that's closer to the West Coast team, so they don't have to travel 3 time zones. Where their fan base, it's easier for them to travel. than to have to go all the way to Dayton. And so that's what I would like to see, is if you're going to do that, you're going to expand the tournament, then, expand a venue. You don't have to put it in the West, because you put it on the West Coast, then obviously it's an advantage. But you're talking teams who are, seated 11th in the tournament or whatever, 12th. It should be a truly neutral site. And when you have a team like Boise that in 2015 goes to Dayton and plays Dayton, I mean, come on, that's such a huge home court advantage. So having something that's a little closer in the middle, that the West Coast teams can play, I think is going to be, better for the West Coast teams and their chances of advancing in the tournament. I think their record's like 9-12. It's not bad, right, going out to Dayton for West Coast teams, but you would like to have that even, 50-50, and not giving that advantage so much to the East Coast teams.
That's great stuff, man. And you know what? It's one of those things that Sankey, I think, is the SEC conference president. He was talking about, like, we need to be talking about these things because they're talking about it as soon as next year, next season coming up. So there's a lot of logistical things that go into it. And that's kind of the biggest motivating factor, right? It's the dollar bill. They want to make money off of this tournament. They've got one of the best products in all the world when it comes to sports, the tournament. So, a lot of planning goes into it. Talking about it now. They've been talking about it for months, possibly years. I mean, the tournament hasn't changed. I think it hasn't changed. 2011 was when they expanded the playing game. And before that, I think it was maybe 30, 40 years. Like, it never changed before that. I think 85.
It was like 60. So it went to 64, but then it was like at 32. But I want to say that was 40 some years ago that, it went to that. So
in the 80s,
sometime like early 80s. Yeah. I think is when it expanded to 64. So, I mean, the dollar amounts are more. The more inventory, the more games you have, the more money you can generate from that. And, March Madness is one of the greatest events, on this planet. I may be a little biased, but why not capitalize by adding a few more teams? You definitely don't want to dilute it down so that the conference tournaments don't matter at all. But you would like to, maybe get some teams in there that, we're on the bubble and they're competitive teams, and they may or may not make a run. We've seen teams from the first four make it all the way to the Final Four, so it can happen.
It can happen. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, and we're going to be bringing in some guests very shortly, guys. So we appreciate you guys sticking around in the stream. If you guys are watching on X, make sure you guys make your way over here on YouTube. That stream is going to expire in just a little while, but we're glad to have you guys join us. Okay, Fiend, I don't know about you, but there was a scene going on in Northern California in terms of we're waiting, and it seems like everybody's waiting for, this mediation between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. And it's sad to say, man, I mean, I'm still seeing black smoke, Fiend. I'm still seeing black smoke. We have not seen the white smoke of this mediation, man.
Well, that's a very long period of time.
It's been going on a couple of weeks now, I think.
One day, one of those who was present might let people know.
I'd like to know where they're at, how far apart they are, who's lagging. It wouldn't surprise me if the Mountain West is just kind of trying to push this as far out as they can, just to, because it hurts the Pac-12. I think that the longer the mediation goes, because we want to get this settled so we know what we owe, and definitely need to get the media deal done. That's sort of the biggest thing in this whole thing, is getting the media deal. We know there's going to be another team. You can't go into next year with 7 teams and be out of the college football playoff. You have to have an 8th team. We think we have a good idea who that team is. The betting odds are on Texas State. So,
let's unpack this a little bit, though, because for those of you guys that are watching may not be familiar with this. You might be dipping in for the first time. San Diego State has been playing in the Mountain West Conference for 10 25 years, 20 something years. And so what just happened, right? There's been a lot of talk. Everybody knows San Diego State, Boise State, Fresno State, Utah State, Colorado State is like all the state universities, right? And they're all leaving to join the Pac-12, which is basically the Pac-2, Washington State and Oregon State, right? So everybody knows that. Well, what just happened a couple days ago was that it was official. The deadline came to leave the Mountain West, and that actually just became official that they're leaving. But throughout this whole process, they've been in mediation, the two conferences, because those two teams from the Pac-12, Washington State and Oregon State, they had an agreement, a scheduling agreement, that they were going to play football against Mountain West teams, but they promised that they wouldn't poach any teams, right? Or otherwise they'd get fined. Well, obviously everybody knew there was going to be some type of either the Pac-12 was going to be absorbed or the Mountain West was going to be absorbed or somebody was going to leave, and that's exactly what happened, right? So, of course, the Pac-12 has to pay the exiting fees for all those teams that are leaving the Mountain West, but they broke that agreement that they wouldn't poach the teams from the Mountain West. So added on to it, Fiend, we're looking at what, $150 million that the Mountain West is expecting to collect. Now, this is kind of like a normal thing when these type of poaching situations happen. They have a mediation, they negotiate, they drop that number down, everybody walks away. Some walk away lighter in the pocket, some walk away heavier in the pocket. So the Mountain West they're looking to get some money. And so like Fiend said, there's a lot of things kind of hanging. Pac-12 needs that 8th football team. They've already added Gonzaga and basketball and all the other sports, but they need that 8th. They need that 8th football team, and basically they need it by July, like next month. So this mediation it's got to end, like you said. It's got to end very, very soon. You got the TV contract and the balance, and what are the networks the Washington State and Oregon State already got, because they got their TV deal them too for this year coming up, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that's valued at. I'm not sure.
I don't know what it's valued at, but it's like the CW, ESPN, and CBS. Like,
yeah, and I think those are the networks that they're hoping will be the partners in the new deal.
Yeah,
that they're trying to get done. But
which is great. I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I the CW, I was a little skeptical about them when they first were introduced, but I tell you what, the broadcasts, I really enjoyed their broadcasts. I thought it was pretty good content that they did, and so I welcome them back as a partner. But yeah, with this, we got to get a deal done, and the longer it goes, the more nervous you kind of get because of what happened, sort of that PTSD that you have from the Pac-12, where we were promised, okay, it's coming, and then all of a sudden it just imploded, right?
And that's why I didn't really even want to cover this so much, to be honest with you. I'm not hanging on every single article out there. I'm just not doing that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've already been down that road, right? And so you don't want to get burned again. Because we definitely had our hopes up. We were flying that Pac-12 banner, before a deal got done. So yeah, lesson learned. But I think the good thing in all of this is that we are united, that no one went back on, that we all crossed that bridge together. All the Mountain West teams who are leaving, we are in this, and Oregon State's not going anywhere. Washington State's not going anywhere. So we're all in this together, right? So you got to make this work. You have to. And so you got to get this mediation done. You got to get the deal, the media done deal done, and then get the 8th team. So, but I'm glad that we're united and we're not going into this with teams having second thoughts. The other thing that came out of this is there will be no UNLV in the Pac-12. Because
before you get into the reason on that, and that just makes me laugh. That kind of fills my heart with a little bit of joy, dude. Like, to be honest with you, But
I've never met
before
like
you,
a more delusional fan base. I mean, than UNLV. I wrote about it in the article, in the hate article that remember that, like how delusional they are, and they are expressing themselves on social media, and they all believe that they're going to the Big 12 or Big 10 or whatever, and they have not won a conference championship since 2008.
I
And
will
they're the
never say
flagship, and they're
never.
the flagship program of the new Mountain West. And they haven't won a
I,
conference championship since 2008 in basketball or football. That's your flagship program.
I mean, look, I will never say never ever again because this world, this landscape in college sports is crazy. Let's continue talking about this, but I want to bring in our first guest. You talk about everybody being united together, everybody being on the same page. Well, this young man has been helping us throughout the last few years. He joined us on the SWISH League coverage, did an awesome job commentating. We're going to bring him in because he's also an Aztec. We want to get his opinion. And that's, of course, Mr. Bryant. I see you, Mr. EVT Bryant. What's going on? If you guys don't know Mr. Bryant, he's been around. He's been around doing this thing with EVT. And, of course, what is it? Sidelines as well. What's going on, man?
Sidelines, we're doing good. How are you guys doing on this night? It's a wonderful
Good,
night.
man. You're hanging out in the dark there, and I got these shades on. It's real hard to see you, man.
Hey, listen, my light stopped working. My light
really?
stopped working like 6 months ago on the fan. Like, it'll work every now and then, but the light that you're getting right now is the windows open. That's about as much as I got right now. It's about as much as I got right now.
All right, everybody,
man.
send in your super chats and your super likes. We need to get those lights turned on over there.
Yeah,
What's going
we gotta
on?
get
What's
that
going on,
light
B?
right
Come
there,
on.
man. Come on.
Hey, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. One day it was working, then one day it wasn't,
Gotta get an electrician over there.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, it's good to have you, dude. I'm looking forward to SWISH League coverage, man. I'm looking forward to having you on the mic, detailing the games. Of course, there with Kev. You guys did a great job last year. We're going to get into SWISH talk in just a few minutes. We're over here bashing on UNLV with Fiend, man. He loves to talk his trash. And he's got a good point there. As much as it's kind of warming my heart a little bit to see UNLV out there kind of dangling. I will never say never. Las Vegas is a big sports city now, but I think it's more pro sports than college. But we do know, like, they're not going to be included in the Pac-12 unless they really, really, really make something happen. I mean, all the reports are coming out that they can't even afford their football coach's salary that they've pretty much promised him out there. That's been reported. And then talking about just how much in debt that their program is. I mean, we all saw them renege on their quarterback's NIL. That was a whole dispute last year. They kicked the dude off the team, and he was like, "I'm out of here. Like, you're not paying me NIL that you promised." They've already got a grant of rights deal with the Mountain West as well, right? So they're pretty much stuck. I don't know if you got any thoughts on that.
They're pretty much stuck. Now, my thoughts on UNLV is that they're in a good spot being in Las Vegas because you got a lot of casinos, you got a lot of local businesses, you got a lot of stuff out there that can help you with NIL, and you got people that are willing to help you with NIL. Now, the report about the quarterback, he was getting paid the NIL that they told him that they were going to pay him, but he went into the office after they won that game on the road at an SEC school, I believe, and was just like, I want more money. And they kind of just looked at him and said, no, you're not getting more money. This is what you're getting this year, and we'll discuss later if you want more money. And then that's when he decided to leave the team.
Nothing for you.
So that's what came out about that situation. But UNLV, I kind of wanted them in the Pac-12 because I think that getting Dan Mullen as a coach, now he's a little old. He might be, this might be just his last job, but Dan Mullen is a historic coach. He's a really good coach, and I think it was a good hire for UNLV to get because he is a really good recruiter, and he has proven in the past at big-time schools that he can get it done. So I think that's a great hire. What they did for basketball, I think they did a really good job in basketball. I think they honestly sold a little bit on the guy that went to USF. But getting Pastner has done a really good job recruiting and done a really good job getting solid recruits to come to Las Vegas. So I think UNLV, they will eventually get to, I believe it's the Big 12. the Big 12 or the Big 10, get to one of those schools. I think they will get there because you live in Las Vegas. That's where you're going to be at. You should have the NIL funds from the casinos. So I think they will move on from the Mountain West in due time.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they're getting a bid from the Big 12. I'd be surprised. I don't think that. I think if you put them in the Big 12, they would be like a bottom feeder in the Big 12. I don't think they'd be very competitive. Heck, they haven't been competitive except for 2 years in football.
Yeah.
The past 15, 18, 20 years. It's not 1990. Again, Tarkanian was the reason why they were successful in basketball. They've had very few successful seasons in football. Maybe, Mullen can turn this around and they can be a winner. They should win in the Mountain West. But then, are they going to get into the college football playoff? Most likely not. I would say, the winner of the Pac-12 is probably going to get that group of 5 bid. Is it possible they could sneak in? Yeah, it's possible, but I don't see it when you're, like your football team is not very popular. Let's just say what it is. I mean, if they're winning, they'll draw some fans. We were there, remember, in 2021, and
I remember I was there too, and it was like nobody. It was like nobody.
No one there. And then the basketball team, the Aces are the WNBA are more popular than Running Rebels basketball. So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think just because you're in that city that necessarily means that you are going to get a bid to the Big 12. They don't need UNLV. They can schedule at the different arenas, at Allegiant. They can have their conference tournament there if they want. I don't think that they really need UNLV. So I'd be surprised if they went to the Big 12.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit in the in-between. I think they would have to really prove themselves that they can dominate the Mountain West for some considerable amount of time before I think a Big 12 would seriously add them. But like I said, I'm never going to say never. Las Vegas is a big city. There's a lot of money, like what you're saying, Brian. There's a lot of money that goes in and out there. It's not all good money. It's not all popping as much as everybody thinks all the time. But it's going to be a growing market. And what I'm getting at is San Diego is they're kind of similar, but they're not. I mean, San Diego State has put forth basketball,
San Diego State's kind of put their stamp on the map when it comes to basketball. And you've seen
even football for the last decade.
You've seen what they've done in football. Obviously with Rocky Long and then Hoke, hopefully Sean Lewis. I think the team's going to have a good year this year. I think this is the year where Sean Lewis is going to prove it. But you have a history, a more recent history. Let's make that very clear. A more recent history with San Diego State being successful in basketball, in football, not even just that, softball as well, baseball before Martinez retired, dominating the Mountain West, getting Mountain West championships. Tony Gwinnett, the coach, we've had programs that are Pac-12 built, and it's been recent success. Well, as UNLV, it really hasn't been recent success except for these last 2 years for football and basketball since like 2010, 2011, since their last recent somewhat success.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So let me ask you a question. If it is going to be an 8th team, if we're going to grab the 8th team, what would be the team that you would want in the Pac-12?
Go ahead, Brian.
This is a tough one because I hear really good reports about the NIL fund and people supporting these 2 schools in particular. And I'm talking about Sacramento State and Texas State. Obviously, we know how football is in Texas. Football is king in Texas. And you have NIL supporters of Texas State that are willing to give them that money if they do make that jump to the Pac-12. So that is, I think, a solid option there to bring in. And then you got Sacramento State, where Sacramento State, they're getting Mike Bibby. They're getting Shaquille O'Neal to be the general manager of the basketball program. You get the offensive coordinator from UNLV who was getting head coaching offers from Power 5 programs that he turned down to go to Sacramento State, and he's getting former 5-stars to go there. So it's very clear that it's not smoke when it comes to Sacramento State NIL. There's fire there. So Sacramento State and Texas State are my two like absolute wants, in my opinion, when it comes to adding a football team to the Pac-12.
Any response to that, Fiend? Any response?
No, I'm actually surprised by the Sacramento State argument. I don't know if I would definitely take Texas State just to get into Texas. I love the facilities that they have. You know, they just put $40 million into their football stadium renovation. They've got a 10,000 seat basketball arena. Basketball hasn't been great. I mean, they're like 190 in Kempom, I think, last year, somewhere around there. So it's like basically Wyoming. But there's a lot of potential, you know, to get better. They have the facilities. Plus, you're in Texas, which obviously football's king there, and there's so much talent that you can. We've recruited really well out of Texas, but also in basketball too. I think basketball is kind of underrated in Texas, and we don't really recruit guys out of Texas unless they've played on the West Coast, like, you know, a guy like Winston Shepard, who was at Finley Prep in Las Vegas.
Correct.
Or Goon, you know, he played in, I think, Arizona, yeah. So like they go to prep schools, then they come to San Diego State, but we're not recruiting directly out of Texas, other than Jaden Ledee. But then he was, you know, went to several schools, and then, you know, he was at TCU, and you know, so he was in college. But I'm talking about directly out of out of high school. I think that's an untapped market for San Diego State, and you know, you have a team that's in Texas, that's in a hotbed for football, and in a very growing area, you know, that corridor between San Antonio and Austin. I mean, it's growing leaps and bounds. So population, this is definitely a move to make for, you know, the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years to grab a team like Texas State. I don't think they have the name brand or the, you know, but they're an emerging market, if you want to call it that.
You know, there's potential there. Yeah. And I see Agent Drew's comment that Sac State has been relevant since 1962. And yes, I know, I agree, but there's obvious fire to the idea that Sacramento State does have NIL money because of the casinos and the reservations around Sacramento and how they're able to produce NIL money. And getting Mike Bibby and getting Shaquille O'Neal to be your general manager of the basketball program, you know, that's not nothing, in my opinion. That's not nothing.
I think they definitely have the makings for and that potential, like what you're saying. The groundwork is there, the market is there, they got the money in place, they got all these things all lined up. They just haven't done it yet. They're so fledgling. It's a fledgling university when it comes to sports. They've got to prove themselves. They got to do it. You can't talk about it. You got to be about it. And they are being about it now. But
what are their facilities?
They've got to get to that point.
Do they?
Their facility, they're making upgrades to their facilities, but it's not D1 yet. But they're getting a lot of money in where they're trying to make those upgrades. They're trying to make an upgrade to their football stadium so that way it can fill, you know, a Division I.
But do you want that going into the Pac-12? I'd rather have establish a team like Texas State already has Division I facilities. I'd rather have them. You know, wouldn't it be a bad idea having another team in Texas too, just so you have a couple of teams from the Central Time Zone. Yeah. We don't have any. We don't have any Central Time Zone teams. You saw the Mountain West take NIU in football, so they're getting into the Central Time Zone.
Tulane, baby, Tulane. If Memphis ain't gonna come, we gotta go get Tulane.
Tulane would be nice for football. And their basketball program's been kind of rocky a little bit, but you know they kind of have flashes sometimes in the American Athletic Conference. So Tulane's definitely like a top priority in my opinion, but I just also at the same time I really don't want to venture out that far across the country. In my opinion,
I don't know if it's realistic. I don't know if it's realistic to get them.
I don't think it's realistic either, because if Tulane and Memphis or one of them wanted to come to the Pac-12, they would have been here already. In my opinion, they would have already made that switch to the Pac-12. So that's why I think Texas State is definitely like the team that I think is going to be added.
Yeah.
To be that 8th football team. I just threw Sacramento State in there as a sleeper team, where if they get added to the Pac-12, don't just look at it and just be like, oh, this is nothing. There's some smoke and there's some fire there with their money and what they're getting in.
Yeah,
definitely Texas State. Definitely Texas State. If there is a sleeper, obviously people would want Memphis, but I don't think Memphis is coming. Tulane would be my go get, because then you're getting into that Louisiana recruiting hotbed. Like, give me a break. That for football especially, as much as we love hoops, guys, football is driving the ship. It's driving the bus. It's dictating.
Football drives the numbers.
Guys, let's get back to this conversation in just a few moments. I don't want to keep our next guest waiting any longer. He's been patiently back there, and SWISH League is upon us in just a couple weeks, guys. I know we're all going to be down there having a great time this summer at Lincoln High. I want to invite all you guys watching the stream. Thank you for joining. Come down and join us every Thursday night and Sundays as well. We're most likely going to be streaming every Sunday, and we're going to try to throw in, get in some Thursdays as well, get in some Thursday runs as well. But SWISH has a new team this season, guys. They've got a new team, a new contender. They're ready to get their SWISH season 1 under their belts. Of course, this is the 7th year, I want to say, of SWISH League. So we want to welcome in, of course, Eric Brown. He is the CEO of the San Diego Suns. What is going on? Let's get you right in here, man. Let's get you right in here. How you doing, EB? Welcome.
All right, how about yourself? Thank you guys for having me.
It's great to have you. Welcome.
Good to have you.
Hey, and just FYI, it's like I would say year 1.5, because we were in the first year. I combined with a guy, and I had my guys the first year. We used to be called the Chula Vista Suns, but we're rebranding this year, so we're the San Diego Suns now.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right, there we go.
Hey, Coach, you're not by chance a UNLV alum, are you? Because I've been talking a lot of crap about them.
No, I ain't even lying. I'm a Duke fan for basketball.
Oh, Duke. Okay.
Oh, there we go.
And the U for college football. So you two got to, your guys' team's got to catch up, man.
Who was it? Grant Hill, Leitner,
there.
Leitner, man. Leitner. Everybody hates him. We'll just say Leitner.
Everybody love to hate Leitner. Great
Irving,
player.
Tatum.
Yeah.
Some good players from Duke, but we choked it this year. That's for sure.
I had money on him. I was hurting.
I did too. I ended up. See, you guys caught me at a good time because I had to bleach my hair because they lost. So if my friend would have lost, he had to do the Earl Monroe. I was really hoping for that, but.
That's all right. We had a buddy of ours who said that if Magoon Gwath came back, he'd get a tattoo of his face on somewhere on his body. So we have to make that happen.
We gotta make that happen.
Hold him to it.
Yes. Yeah. Not me. It's not me.
All right, Eric. So tell us, man, this is a reunion then, coming back to SWISH League for the first time as the San Diego Suns. Give us a little background on the Suns. We know that you've been there. I met you last year there at SWISH. Got a chance to get the introduction, so I'm excited to have you guys at SWISH this year. But give us some of the background.
Well, I've been doing this for going on year 6 now. I've been on my own since 15, so the ABA gave me an opportunity to pick the basketball up again. I got a small, not big contract, but I got a contract in Mexico. Played for like 1.5 years over there, and then my coach passed away, and it took a lot out of me, and I almost just gave up on basketball completely. But my buddy was like, hey man, you love basketball too much, you got to figure something out. I'm tired of seeing you like this. So I called the owner of the league and bought into the ABA. And since then, I've been giving guys opportunities to showcase their skills and help them further their careers and get overseas. We started right when COVID happened, which same thing with the SWISH. We both started at the same time. I've got about 16 guys have went overseas from our program. 2 guys have been on Ice Cube's Big Three. Of course, the Hezzy God and Body Bag. Everybody knows them. And we've got a lot of guys in like Germany, China, uh, all over the place. Mexico. They're just flooding. And well, our Marcus Morris went this year. He went to Ukraine. So we've been real successful with seeing guys leave our program, and that's what I do it for. I help guys out 4 days a week and train them at Sierra Mesa Rec for 2 hours a day and give up my time helping college guys, pros, whoever need high school kids, whoever need the help. We let them know, just pull up and we'll help them. So we've been doing pretty good. We've actually, 2 years ago we were divisional champions and runners up to the national champions. So we almost brought the ABA championship to San Diego. We've gone, I think, 94-17 in 5 years.
Ooh,
So,
impressive. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Now
great
this is
run.
the ABA of back in the day.
yes, Dr. J, Will Chamberlain, Julius Irvin, all them guys. Yeah.
That multicolored ball, you guys
Yes,
still use
red,
that?
white, blue. Yes, we do. The red, white, and blue basketball.
Love it, man. Love it. Where are
Still the
those games
same.
at?
This year we're looking for a new venue. We used to be at Victory Christian, but because we're rebranding now, we got the whole San Diego. So we're not limiting ourselves. We want to find the best venue we can. We just finally got our home dates the last couple of days. Got all of our schedule together. So we're gonna start pushing it to some schools and find our best option.
And you guys, how does that work? Like, do you guys have tryouts? Do you sign
Speaking of
people to
that, we have
contract?
trials tomorrow. We have trials tomorrow from 12:30 to 3. Any college guy, because I know it's a little finicky it's like a D1 the guy, but any JUCO guy, they can come to trials for free tomorrow. And we're gonna probably keep, because I think we can have 17 guys for the Swish. I think we're gonna keep like 5 JUCO guys so they can play in the Swish this year and give them an opportunity to get their feet wet.
Nice. Okay. So the guys that you're gonna field this year for the Swish League, there's gonna be 5 JUCOs, and then would be the rest of the
Rest
guys on your
sons and guys that I picked from the tryouts, and then of course some of the guys I've had before, like Ryan Smith. You guys were talking about Toulon. He went there. I'm pretty sure you guys know about him, the 7-footer Ryan Smith. We got Marcus Bell coming in for a few games. Marquise Morris should show up. Christian McCray is a showstopper. He's a scorer. Boy, averaged 40 not last year but the year before for us. So we got some high level guys that's going to come in and compete. I got Malik Anderson, which is the son of Nick Anderson from the Orlando Magic. He's 6'9". He can play 1 to the 5. He'll be there too. So we got some guys that are gonna come. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch Nick Anderson when he was in Chicago, and because I'm from Chicagoland, so
that's right.
Yeah, it's that's awesome. That's it, and so that you got some really good players. I
got some pretty good guys. We just want to try to get some more high level guys around them this year, because last year I kind of had it was a terrible season. I want to say last year was the worst season I've had, even as a player, just seeing how guys conducted themselves, how, they prepared and everything. And this year we're not playing around. We're actually going to be paying guys. We're working on a mascot, sons, girls, and all that. So we're holding things to a different standard this year. So like I had some guys that were out of shape, and I gave them, opportunities last year, and I should have just been like, hey man, when you get in shape, call me. But I got a big heart, and I really try to help guys out a lot, and sometimes it nips me in the butt. But this year I'm going to be a real gritty and tough about it. So they're either going to hate or love me, just like Duke and the Dallas Cowboys. You either hate them or love them, right?
Yeah. It sounds like you got a really good organization over there, and we're absolutely excited for you to be a part of the Swish League. Swish League last year was so fun. We had a bunch of cool moments. So hoping your organization.
That buzzer beater, I was there for that buzzer beater, man. That
for
kid
Devin Watson.
Like,
yeah, that
wow.
was kind of crazy. He after the game, he was just like, I pulled it from that far. He didn't even realize he was that far. He thought he was a lot closer than he actually was.
I was like, man. He did that, and it was against a good team too, right? It was against
the number
a big
1
team.
seed.
It was against the
Yeah,
number one seed.
that was a big shot. I was like, wow, he did that, and he was cooking all game though. He was having a great game.
He does that though. Watson's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, it's good. We're really looking forward and to coming and compete and having high level basketball to get us ready for the season. We're also going to be playing a Mexico team and the Navy team in July, so we got some stuff coming. Just trying to really get prepared and get just a good group of guys that want to buy in. That's the hardest part is, once a person gets to a certain age, almost in everything you do in life, you think you know everything. And honestly, you can learn from anybody, and they get stuck in their ways and they feel like, oh, I've been doing it this way for so long and it's been getting me here. But if they would just listen and kind of turn the pillow a little bit and see like that we're just trying to push them into a better direction, they'll go somewhere. Some of these guys, they're so talented, but the reason why they haven't gone nowhere, there ain't nowhere, is because one, either their attitude or the way that they conduct themselves off the court, or the way they prepare. Like some of these guys don't even work out, and I'm like, you don't even lift weights, bro? That's crazy. Like, how can you not lift weights and you want to call yourself a pro? Like, they call working out going into the basketball gym playing 5-on-5. You wouldn't believe the guys I've came across, and I'm just like, man. But the ones that work hard, they go somewhere. My guy Jamani Spencer, he's actually on the Globetrotters right now. So he worked his tail off. He made it to Mexico, and now he's on the Globetrotters. I mean, you just got to really put forward for yourself, man. And I'm trying to teach that and instill this to the guys, even the younger guys that come to work out with us. Like, just show them the right way, because everybody can get somewhere, whether it's overseas, whether it's playing for a team like us in your local state at home, right? There's somewhere you can get to where you can fill that void in your life and feel that importance, because that's really what it is. Some people, that's what they live for, right? So yeah, I'm really excited for this though. We've contemplated the last 2 years of doing it. And this year, my sponsor's like, let's just go ahead and do it. It's going to be perfect, especially for the rebrand. And, we'll get more eyes on us just being in that. And also get back to my buddies from the Swish. They've always supported me, and Steve and all them guys. They're awesome.
It's a great way to prepare for the season, right? You start up right in the fall. So why not use Swish as a means to, have your team play and develop that continuity and get that rhythm going into the season. So it's
and I can get rid of the guys that aren't bought in, the guys that aren't working hard, like, because I really do put a lot forth for guys and to try to help them get better. Like last year, where we had a recovery center where they could go in the cold plunge and red infrared saunas. It was free to them 24 hours a day. They got a personal trainer they could go lift. Honestly, how many of them guys you think went?
Probably like 3.
2.
I was close.
You were close. 2. And I used to just be like, man, all this stuff is free to you, man. But you're
like, imagine if I had this.
Back in the day, whenever I was playing, if I would have had that, oh man, like all the training, all the stuff
in the gym constantly, they would have had to get you out there.
I've had a I got an 18-year-old son, so I'm 38. So I've had child since I was 20. So I'm like, I never had that opportunity to just be able to. I've always been working and grinding, and man, these kids don't understand what they have in front of them. And I'm just like, man, just take it and grasp and take off with it. The ones that do though, you could tell, that they want to go somewhere. Some guys want to do this for social media purposes or to act like they're the man in their town, and so like I try just to help these guys understand, like, you can be that guy if you put a little bit more effort, like I can honestly say Hezzy, same thing, he did blow up and he did make the big 3 and all that, but if he would fix his attitude and play this much defense, man, he would be unstoppable. And he would be banking in a lot of cash. But them 2 things right there kills it for him.
Eric, I love listening to you, man. I can already tell, you're straight up with your players. You don't tell them what they want to hear.
Mm-mm.
You're going to be honest up front. And you mentioned something about, you know, kind of getting yourself back on track and doing this thing and where you're at now. So, I mean, what was that? What was that line that you had to draw in the sand? What was that switch that went on and you were full go into what you're doing with the Suns and helping these dudes out?
Honestly, just thinking about my life and all the stuff I've been through, and just like how I always wish I had someone there to kind of give me some guidance and not give up on me. So I just have always, I just feel like God put me on the earth just to, help guys out and to teach them right from wrong as far as how to conduct themselves in a manner in sports, in the community, and just be a better person, because some of these guys are just, they're right there and they're scratching at the surface, but they just don't have no, like, you don't know half these guys' stories. Some of these guys, they're too shy to even tell their story. So you don't know, like, hey, this kid's dad ain't even been here his whole life, you know? Or like this kid's mom died at 12, and he's been living with his grandma, and his grandma's been taking him up and down, and now his grandma's got dementia and he's trying to take care of her. And he's only 17 years old, trying to go from high school, like, into college. That's the same thing as that girl. You remember the girl that was going to what was it, San Diego High, and she was homeless downtown? And she was like she was the top high school girl at San Diego High. You remember that? Like 2-3 years ago or something like that? And she got that help, and look at her now. She's blowing up. There's a lot of people that just need help. Even if it's a bottle of water, I'm trying to help them, because I understand where them days of just wanting someone to talk to, or just someone to be able to call and be like, hey man, can I come hang out with you? Or hey, can I come over and eat? Like, there's been days, like I said, I've been on my own since I was 15, man. So imagine that, like, trying to find food, trying to find somewhere to lay your head. And when I finally got that stability, when I came out here before my grandpa died, then my grandma moved and I ended up having my first child. I finally found that stability and just finally figured out what I need to do in life. And it just started clicking. And then I'm like, man, I want to share this to other guys, so they don't end up on the streets or end up dead or end up in jail, because those are basically where it ends up, especially for men. We deal with mental health more, I believe, than women. And we just don't show it because we hold it in because of our pride. Right. So I just want to show these guys that there's ways to let go and just, tick on your life to where you can be successful.
Absolutely. I support your message 1,000% because I also coach. I coach football down here in Southern California Heritage, and just getting that fulfillment of helping, like, these kids, like these players and everything. And the story about mental health, people have talked about it. There are some athletes that have used their popularity to speak on men's mental health. And I do believe that more and more people have to keep talking about it, because mental health is important, not just for men, but for everybody. And everybody's got to talk about what they've been going through, whether that's with your friend or therapist. So I love the fact that you're putting that out there on our live, that mental health is important, and just check on somebody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I try to preach it every day, especially to my friends and people that I deal with on a daily. I'm like I got this one player. He's not gonna be with us no more, but he's a hard-nosed player and he plays very good defense, but he has one of the nastiest attitudes, and he just, he's got a lot of anger inside him, which there's a lot of reasons for it. But in 4 years, well, actually 5 years, I think he's played for me 4 or 5 years, but this year we're not coming bringing back with him. He's just out of shape and he just can't get it together. But in 5 years, I swear he got at least 40 to 50 family members out here. Only one of his family members just came to one game in 5 years. That alone seeing your family and you look up, even as a grown man, brings joy to yourself. Brings, oh,
Exactly.
someone cares for me, someone's here for me, someone's got my back. But I go talk to them, I'm like, why don't y'all pull up? Da, da, da. Granted, we got to play at high schools, colleges, little things like that. So can't have liquor there, right? Oh, we work all week, so on the weekends we want to drink. So we don't want to come to the game and we can't drink.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's your nephew, it's your uncle, it's your grandson. Like, what do you mean?
It's
know?
family.
So,
You got to be there for family, you know.
but if your own family ain't there for you, right? How are you expecting the next person to be there for you? And it really messes even more with your mental health. And then you're so shield offish that it's hard to reach you sometimes.
And that's why mentors are so important, and having support. And as much as any of us would like to say, hey, I'm a self driven guy, and I've got to where I am by what I've done. We've all gotten help along the way. Everyone needs help. And so
100%.
that message that um that you're giving is of just being there for guys and trying to really having their best interest and trying to get them to that next level. It's so congruent with like what the Swish League does, and like with what Coach Koo has done, and where he's come from with playing in a summer league and getting an opportunity for a scholarship, and getting that exposure and wanting to help guys get to that next level. And it just seems like all the coaches that we come across in that we've interacted with at Swish League, that they have that humility and that desire to really want to just help guys get to the next level. It's not about the winning and losing. I mean, you like to win and lose, but it's about making that difference in your players' lives, and trying to get them to be the best of them. Whether that's on the court or off the court. So, great message that you're sharing, and it's shared throughout Swish League.
Yeah, it's the biggest thing and the biggest enjoyment to see another person happy because of something that they did, right? Or a achievement that they achieved on the court. I got a guy on my team who's been with us for a while. He's older. His name Dario Ramirez. No complaints, never nothing. He's just always just a great, outstanding guy on the court, and that's why I try to bring the younger guys to meet him and like model yourself around this guy. Like, model yourself around this guy. If you do exactly what this guy does, he works hard every day. He's like I said, he's like, I believe he's 40. I believe he's 40. You're gonna see him in the Swiss. He's gonna shoot some threes. You guys are gonna be calling his name for sure. But the man is in more in shape than my 20-year-olds. How is that?
Work, working hard, getting out there, and doing what you need to do.
Sounds like we need to get on that workout plan, Fiend. You and me, let's do this.
Yeah, definitely.
We're in our 40s.
I need to do that too. I'll join you guys.
Hey, pull up, man. We invite everybody, man. We're actually gonna start over the summer beach workouts on Saturdays or Sundays, and also weightlifting, to help guys understand that we're gonna give at least a day. You need to lift more than once a day, but at least come get the feel for it. If you don't know how to lift, you don't know how to work out, come learn. And then you could take and use it yourself if you feel more comfortable. Because some guys don't like being in a group setting, right? Yeah, sports is a group activity, but some guys don't like being in a group setting and workouts, right? They would rather go to individual workouts and stuff like that. So if that's what you're on, at least just come by and learn how to work out, learn how to lift correctly, learn how to, get in the sand and do the workouts correctly. Like, because some of the stuff that's being taught to these kids nowadays it's no more downhill. It's all shoot threes. It's all, we don't teach that. We teach all conditioning, getting downhill, getting into your spot quick, fast, and just being efficient. That's what we're trying to work on.
My type of coaching.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys put out there on the floor. I mean, this is getting really excited. Can you just share like what is like your offensive philosophy, defensive philosophy? Like what should we expect out there when you guys are playing?
I know it's a program, but because in our league, If you turn it over, I don't know if you know much about the ABA, but if you turn it in the back court, it goes up a point. So if you steal the ball from me and go lay it up, it goes 3. If I foul you and you make it, you're going for another one for a 4-point play. Same thing as
Wow.
same thing as a 4-pointer. It'll turn into a 4-pointer from the 3 if you foul it, a 5-pointer, right? You can shoot a half-court shot in the game and it's 4 points, right? Because it used to be a fast-paced game. They want to teach guys not. It's FIBA and NCAA rules mix. So you can hit the ball off the cylinder. You can run in from anywhere on the 3 for when someone's shooting a free throw. But the 3D rule is the biggest thing. Matter of fact, we were talking about the buzzer beater. This year we had one where Marquise Morris, I'm sorry, he hit a half court shot and he called it. He said, "Coach, let me shoot it. I promise you I'm gonna hit it." We drew it up. He got it, got to the corner. I swear he shot that thing perfect. It hit off the backboard and he got fouled, went to the free throw line and won the game for us. Yeah,
Wow,
so it's we are definitely gonna be pressing because we got to work on it, especially the Suns guys. Maybe the college guys, I might have them kind of sit back a little bit, but the Suns guys, they're gonna have to press and play hard and play up the whole time. If not, I'll pull them. And our offense, I like to be spread and set a lot of high screen rolls because I got my 7-footer can shoot. My 6'10" he's a punisher under low, so we want to stay spread and kind of run a high and low and just kind of slow things down when we get down there on guys because we're so big. But in transition we want to run and just push it down their throat because we're just so big. We got I got guys that are 6'9" and 6'10" and 6'6", and I'm just really searching for a good point guard. So I'm hoping tomorrow one just lands in my lap. Because I got
Press
all those
those San
pieces.
Diego
I
State.
just need a really good point guard, man.
Press those San Diego State guys. Press them.
I'm trying. Oh yeah, we are for sure. We are for sure. I've been trying to poach one of them, but I ain't gonna say no names. An X one, I should say.
Maybe a point guard that you need. Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Billy White.
Oh,
Billy White, come on to the Suns,
he can play point guard. I think.
He 100%.
He probably says he can play point guard. He probably says he can play point guard.
He played point guard from time to time when he played on state.
Yeah, I've seen him play point at Swish, definitely.
Oh yeah, no one's gonna steal it from him.
Billy can do
that much. The question is, at his age, do we want to run that much and push the ball? I don't think so. I think he just wants to
he can run now. Okay.
Cool Joe Billy wants to.
I wonder if Billy's seeing this right now.
Man, I've known him since I was young, man. He's him, Tyrone Shelley. Man, I remember that team. Billy White or Malcolm Thomas, man. They had that was a great state team. I honestly thought they were gonna win the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was
if Kemba hadn't flopped, we blame it on Kemba.
Yeah.
Why do we have to relive this?
You got to.
UConn just haunts my dreams. They're just nightmares at this point.
I mean, didn't he drop Buddy on that one guy on the shot too? I mean, he crossed.
Yeah, if they don't beat Pittsburgh, they don't face us.
Yeah, but what I gotta say about that, I ain't never seen that big dude ever again on any basketball clip in life. Where did he go?
He retired, probably.
He was done, right?
He
was
retired.
Like,
he probably put up the shoes, put in the locker room, and said, "I'm done. This is over."
It's like that scene on Avengers. He just disintegrated right there on the court. Just disintegrate. Thanos.
I am working on trying to get a ex-NBA or NBA guy to show up, or a high-level D1 player. So I am working on that as well. Because some of my players, they do come from LA, so there's a couple connections up there. Hopefully, I can get one of them guys to come down. That would be nice. I mean, that'd be nice. That would probably be a hard one. I'm more like a retired like Swaggy P, or like someone of that nature would probably be a lot easier to entice. And some of my players are good friends with him, so that might be one. Maybe I'm hoping. But we're gonna see. Fingers crossed on that. And one of my old players, Kurt Withers. I don't know if y'all remember him, ex-NBA player. Played for the Wizards, and his son plays for North Carolina. So trying to work to see if we could get his son down here for maybe a game. You know, we're reaching out, just trying to. I'm gonna definitely have a good team, but I'm trying to bring in a name. You know, someone just to boost it up, just so people be like, oh, he came, that's cool. You know, like how when Norm comes. You know,
Yeah.
I hope we get that game when he comes. I really because Norm's
You gonna
my
press
boy.
him? You gonna press him?
Norm's my boy. Yeah, he. You know what? Them guys don't like physicality because they got a contract. They got to. So as long as we get up in them, they might just kind of, you guys go ahead and have the game.
You know, it's like, yeah, I got an NBA career to focus on. I ain't too worried about this.
I
No,
think
I'm
Goodall's
excited though,
Goodall's
man.
team might want a rematch before though.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see some of these. It's funny because I've asked some of these kids, a couple of them, like, you gonna come out? You want to try to come play for us? They're like, oh man, I've been playing with this coach for a couple of years and I like the loyalty. I really do. But I told him, all right, man, it's your funeral, dog.
Ain't nothing wrong with loyalty, but also, you're not gonna have fun when you play against me.
Yeah, that's just like, you guys keep talking about UNLV, all the loyalty players that went there, they just kept getting smack, 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 Nothing they can do. It's all good.
Oh
I'm
man.
excited though. I'm super excited, man. I'm ready for it to get started. And I'm really excited for tomorrow though. I want to see what kind of guys we have come out. Especially this is our first year paying. So a lot of guys. I mean, I know it's kind of a weird timing, 12 from 3 in the daytime, but I want to see what guys actually have the availability in time, because the Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, working dad and stuff, it's like I got to kind of move on from those and have them kind of piece them in from time to time, even though they could still play. I'm looking for kind of more younger guys that can buy in, actually get out in the community, go do events, do kids camps, and, just do things that is need and a necessity as a pro team. We can't just show up to games and expect we're going to have 1,000 fans at the game, because it's not. We have to get out in the community. We got to do, leg work. We have to give back. So that's our biggest goal this year, is just to make all that happen.
Well, Agent Drew says proof. Eric gave me a shot back in 2020 to do stats for his team, and now I'm doing stats in bigger leagues and divisions and other showcases. Shout out to Agent Drew, man.
Shout out to Andrew Drew. He will be our stats guy in the Swish. Yes, he was with me for the beginning. And he ended up going somewhere where he can make some more money, and that's what we do this for. Sometimes I can't always give guys what they're expecting or what they do, but they gotta understand, like, I grind real hard for this, and sometimes I go out and Uber and put my money into it so guys could get a chance. These games aren't cheap. Refs are $400 a game. Whatever the gym fee is, which we know gym fees are outrageous.
Especially now,
Oh my God! You a coach, you already know it's ridiculous. If you don't have a nonprofit or a nonprofit attached, you're paying a few $100s an hour, right? So you're getting into $1,000 a game. So from time to time, it's been an uphill battle, but we've got through it, and I've appreciated everybody that's come on and either helped or came on to help with a little bit, or they got what they needed out of it. And that's what we like to see, is guys be happy, guys move on to bigger and better things. Like you said, he's been doing Division 1, JUCO. He's been doing all the, he's everywhere now, and that's heart filling to me, because I just want guys to be happy with what they got going on. And we are dedicating, I forgot to say this, but we are dedicating our season this year to Matt Drescher. He was our stats guy this past season, and he passed. Unfortunately, he came down with a diabetic coma and fell and went in his sleep. So we will be dedicating the season to him and playing hard for him this year. He actually was a guy that came on and didn't want no money from me. Every time I'd offer him money, he would tell me no. And it was a hard loss for us. His family's going to come down. We're actually going to make the Matt Drescher Integrity Award. We're going to give a player on our team at the end of the season, a player in our division, that all the coaches and owners in our division vote for him. We're going to award him that as well. So,
nice tribute.
Really good tribute. Love that.
Yeah, it's rough, man. This stuff it takes an army to do. but it also takes a tough mind, because you're gonna have a lot of ups and downs. You know, you're gonna have people that pass away. You're gonna have, you know, things that you wouldn't expect happen, but you just gotta stay ticking forward and remember what the goal is, right? The goal is, we're here to help guys. We're here to try to further their career, whether it's on the court or off the court, or doing something involved in basketball, right? Whether it's videography. We encourage all the kids in JUCO and or that are going to any college or any high school that's doing videography or doing graphic designs or anything like that, to come out to our internship and be a part of our internship this year, so they can build their portfolios to get better jobs or other opportunities to make money. So we're going to have that this year to try to help out, also help us out as well, so we can get some better content and some better graphics and stuff, you know. So we got a
I'm
lot of
showing here
stuff.
on the screen. I'm showing here on the screen you guys' Instagram. So people could take
Yes.
a look at the brand, San Diego Suns, the ABA franchise here in town. So definitely want to support gear. Everything looks fresh, man. I like
I
it.
like those jerseys.
Yeah, those, you know what's crazy is my
Some good
player
jerseys.
Christian McCray, he hated them. He's like, please don't come back with them type of jerseys this year. We're old school, we like the mesh, you know. But we definitely are trying to do something different this year. We're working on the mascot now. Dago the Tiger. Something fun for the kids, something fun for the community. It's gonna be a lot of fun. That's my biggest goal right now, is to get that thing going quicker than anything. We've already started the Suns girls. We did one casting call. We got another one coming up soon. So we encourage all the females to come out that want to be involved. It will be an opportunity for them for exposure, not only in the community, but we are going to have like a calendar for them, so that there will be calendar girls to sign at the games and to go to events and stuff. They're not going to be cheerleaders or dance girls. They are going to be hype girls with the mascot, and they are going to they will have their calendar to sign and to give away to fans and stuff like that.
It's a whole operation, man. Whole operation sounds
It's a lot.
sounds
It's a
awesome.
lot.
You even got a nominee to be the Dago the Tiger mascot, Kai.
Oh,
We
oh,
know Kai. We know Kai. He'll be there at Swish.
oh, tell him we like that. That's my guy, Kai. I know Kai. He actually brought us our announcer this year, Armando. Armando was amazing. He just had a lot of he was going to school and trying to graduate, so he was doing a lot of school stuff, and he couldn't make a lot of our games. And then his mom, thank God she's doing better, but she came down with some cancer, so he had to fly back home, and it was real tough on him. But he brought us him, and man, he did amazing for us. He actually called that 4-point call, and it was nice. Man. It was
awesome.
real nice. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, Kai's a good dude. All right, well, Kai, then we're gonna sign you up. Okay, you're gonna come to the casting call. You better work on your dance moves now, okay? Because you got to be able to do the new TikTok dances that these kids are doing. All right.
It can't be like the mascot in old school, right? That caught on fire, right? Jumping through the hoop, like.
No.
No.
I
We don't want that.
I almost want to kind of be like the Utah mascot. You know how he throws water on people and stuff like that? No, I'm just playing. He be doing some crazy stuff, that mascot in Utah,
I
man.
see
I'm
Kai
surprised they
running
got
towards
sued.
me in a tiger mascot with water. You know, I'm running. You're not getting on me.
Eric, this has been a great time to get to know you a little better, get to know about the Suns. Of course, SWISH League starting on Juneteenth, coming up real soon, Thursdays and Sundays. We'll be out there every Sunday, guys. So make sure you guys come on down to Lincoln High. The Hive will be buzzing. It's going to be summer madness down there in South, off of Imperial. Come on down. We'll be there, of course. Mr. Bryant Fiend will be on the mic.
Yes, sir.
Coach Eric, are you going to be down there coaching as well, right? You going to be there coaching?
Yes. I'm even though I'm the owner, I'm actually the head coach. I've been for 5 years. First year I had a coach, Brian. He is part of my coaching staff back this year. He just got back from Vegas, but I started doing it, man. We started winning, and I fell in love with that winning, man. But I started to some of the guys that got coaches can't connect with and get to play in a certain way and everything. I was getting them to play. They're like, "How you get that guy to play like that?" I'm like, "Man, I'm real with him. I don't lie to him.
I don't beat around the bush.
I don't beat around the bush, right? Like a lot of teams, they'll tell players, "Oh, we're gonna pay you this, we're gonna pay you that. Whatever we say we're gonna do, we're gonna do. If we can't do it, we're gonna let you know straight up from the get go. If we can't do it, we can't do it." Right? And I've got more respect out of guys that way than beating around the bush and holding on to them and holding on to them. And 3 months down the line, they're like, "Bro, I haven't even got $1," and they're just blowing games for me, not showing up. I ain't got time for that, man. So I just keep it real, man. You keep it real, you get a lot more out of it. And I definitely am excited, man. I'm telling you, I'm ready for this, man. It's been a long time coming. We should have been in it the last few years. But sponsorship money is hard to come by sometimes. Like the NIL deal, how you guys are talking about all the schools, and some schools got it and some schools don't. It's really rough for the schools that don't, and I really feel bad for them, honestly, because now it's a cutthroat game, right?
Absolutely.
Player will leave any second for instance, I had a player I helped. We made it to nationals. I helped him. He went back to college. I wrote him a letter because we didn't pay him. Went back to college. He ended up trying to come back. He ended up getting offered some money in their team and left, right? I can't be mad at that. You got paid, right? Right.
You get paid.
So, but that's the way it goes, right? You could say, "Hey, I love this school to death," or "I want to go here. I've dreamed of going here." But let Oregon come crawling up talking about, "We're going to give you $20,000 worth of Nike gear, and we're going to give you this and that." And they're going to be like, "Bro, I'm out of here. I'm going and living in this rain real quick."
I don't blame some of these people for leaving. Like, I know there are a lot of people that are fans of certain fan bases. I'm not going to say any names of our fan bases, but there are people that blame players for leaving. I don't. It's money. You're not turning down $600,000-$700,000. Even if it is like, a Nebraska or Wisconsin,
you would be a fool too, because if these kids really understand how much they're getting right now, like, look, Cooper Flag made $26 million, right? Like,
yeah, that was in ads too. That was in ads too.
I know. Just think if he would have stayed for this year, what he would have got.
Bro would have had like 50 mil.
Right. 100%. So it's like, you can't be mad at these guys I'm telling these guys, man, if you can get the money, get it now. First of all, we don't know how long this is going to go on. I feel like it's an experiment right now. I don't feel how long it's going to go on, but you better take advantage of it while you can, because it's a very small percent that make it professionally. Now, when we're talking professionally, we're talking NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, right? It's a very small margin. All you guys can go overseas. You can go to Greece, Germany, China, Japan, Mexico. You can go get over there somewhere, whatever level you're able to play, and they'll pick you up at. But it's a very small margin to make it professional. So if you can get that money in college right now, why not take advantage of it, right? I would. Oh man, I know all these players. I've talked to some of them, especially some of the players that I know that were really good, and they're just like, they can't believe it. Like, they cannot believe how much money some of these kids are getting in there, and half of them, to be honest, they ain't even that good to me, man. And they're
it's just throwing money, just kind of like throwing something at the wall and hoping it sticks with some of these programs when they pay some of these players. But if you're the player, you got to take that money. That doesn't
always guarantee success, though. We had some guys this year that left some money on the table because of the culture at San Diego State, the family, the brotherhood. I mean, those intangibles that you can't put a price tag on, and that has value too. And these guys are also betting on themselves that they are going to get to the next level, and they are going to get some big time contracts. So, but they felt like this was the best place to develop, and sometimes the money is not the best place to develop. And so you want to be where you can develop and be the best player you can be to earn that max contract. And so
I agree with that.
Yeah. So, but we're excited to have you, coach, for the Swish League this year. Excited to see the product you put out there on the floor, and I know it's gonna be real competitive. I know everyone's up in their game, and it's just gonna be a really exciting, season for us, getting to call these games and to broadcast them, and to give you guys exposure, and give your players exposure, and hopefully that helps them with, maybe who knows, maybe getting to a higher level than where they've been at.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. And how many games are you guys going to call exactly this year?
We'll be there every Sunday. We'll have at least 2 games every Sunday, and hopefully more. So, gonna do quite a few more than last year for sure.
Nice,
Let's hope for more.
Yeah.
nice.
Yes.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, maybe we
Hope
could
to
have
have
you guys come out. Maybe you guys have you guys this year come out for a game or two for the Suns for our actual season. Maybe call a game. That'd be pretty cool if you guys wouldn't mind.
That'd be cool. Yeah, we'd love to do it. We're, with college basketball season, it gets pretty busy, but yeah, definitely. I think there's times where we can make that work. Sure.
Yeah, because my boy Bird back, so watch out. I'm glad to see him back.
Yeah, me too.
We all are.
100%.
I know. He got it in him too. I keep telling him. I remember one day he came up to me the first time I met him. I didn't even know, man. That boy was shooting from dang near half court on us. I was like, man. I told him, get out of here, man. Go train somewhere.
Hopefully this year we'll get to see some of that. All right, coach, we're gonna cut you loose, man. Hopefully have one of your
appreciate you
games
guys.
soon.
See you guys soon. Thank you
Yes,
again
sir.
for having me, and remember, please support us as much as you guys can in the San Diego community. Follow San Diego Suns ABA on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and we'll send you a ticket if you send us a DM.
Awesome.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you, guys.
See you
Have
soon.
a great night.
Yes, sir.
All
You
right.
too.
Take care.
Boom. There you go, guys. Oh man, so much good stuff there that I think is going to carry over into the broadcast. You know what I mean? Now that we get to meet a lot of these different coaches, different personalities, get to see what their teams are going to be bringing this summer. I hope it goes a long ways for you, Fiend, and for you, Bryant. And
Yeah, definitely.
awesome.
I mean,
and for you guys watching at home, make sure you guys catch it on YouTube. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Sons of Montezuma channel right now. We're going to be showing all those games here, or show up in person.
Going to be excited to call these games. I'm thrilled to be there again to call these games for you guys. I had a blast last year. Can't wait for what's upcoming this year.
It was fun.
Yeah,
man.
it's gonna be fun. It's just so competitive, and these teams, they're all taking it pretty seriously, man. From what we're the interviews that we're having with these coaches, it's I think it's gonna be more competitive than it was last year, and those playoffs are gonna be exciting.
I can't wait. They got to make sure I get the voice ready. I got to start drinking some honey.
That's right. Brian, thank you for joining, man. We'll talk very soon.
All right, thank you. You guys have a good night.
All right, you too, man. Get some lights.
Absolutely gonna try.
We got you. Oh, there it is, Fiend. I'm feeling good about this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited, as we keep saying. It's real.
It's been fun, like each coach, getting to know them, and so there's going to be a connection there, and hopefully our listeners, watchers, who also tune in, to Swish League will feel like they have a connection now that they're getting the backstory behind the teams and the coaches, and so really good interview, with Coach Brown, and I'm excited to see his team, and so he's getting some really high level guys out there, and might get Swaggy P. Could he land Swaggy P down to Swish League? We'll see.
Hey, that'd be fun, man. That'd be exciting for sure. Yeah. A couple quick little things before we go. The player he was referencing, I want to say that she was playing in San Diego. I want to say Jasmine Walker. I don't know if that name rings a bell. I think ESPN did like an E60 on her story, going from being homeless to, I believe she went to Bethune-Cookman University. There was a whole story about that. So I hope I'm not misstating that. I believe it's Jasmine Walker. If anybody knows in that, let us know in the chat or in the comments below if you got any links to that story, which is an awesome story.
Yeah, I love to hear stories like that.
Yeah. So hopefully this isn't the last time we talk with Coach EB. Looking forward to that. Guys, thank you for joining us. We went a little longer, but it was worth it. And man, just what a great night tonight streaming. We'll be back. Hopefully next week we'll have some more stuff to talk about, of course, with the Pac-12 and of course with NCAA, but it's in particular the Pac-12 and the Mountain West. Hopefully those mediations get wrapped up and we can move on with our lives, move on in the Pac-12. Looking forward to that. Fiend, thank you for joining. Mike Tortolot, we'll see you next time, bro. Next time, maybe. We'll see.
Maybe.
All right, everybody, have a great night. See you guys.
Peace.
Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs.